Samsung, proud sponsor of TechBusters.
Whenever you hear people talk about the cloud, most of us imagine it is some fanciful place in the internet somewhere in the ether. But what it actually is a grey building like this that houses thousands of racks of computers and hard drives. And we're going to go inside Terrico's building to show you what the internet and what data centers really look like. Let's go take a look.
Data centers provide safe and secure environments for all IT infrastructure needs of an organization. The areas are highly controlled and monitored with cabling systems that allow for flexible and scalable interconnections to multiple carriers and service providers.
Let's just discuss what is a data center.
Basically how it works is that we make sure power is 100% uptime. We make sure the cooling, so all those servers, etc., that need to be cooled, we make sure that that's permanently cooled so nothing overheats, and we make sure that there's enough space for our customers. So if they need to grow, then we've obviously got the space available. But the key thing is the ability to interconnect and to share content between each other, which is a really new thing in Africa, because essentially from an Africa side of things, that's normally not what's been done.
The stats and figures must be remarkable. I mean, how many kilometers of fiber optic have you got in the building, for instance?
We estimate at the moment it's sitting at about 23 terabits of capacity, which is actually more than the undersea cables, ironically enough. As well as if you look at the amount of people connecting to each other within the facility, we run over 2,000 different cable connections, growing at over 200 a month. So that shows you how people are actually starting to interconnect with each other and starting to buy and sell services from each other.
You can hear from the enormous noise around us that this is a highly air-conditioned environment. And the reason for that is that these are essentially massive computers generating a lot of heat. And the air conditioning is necessary to keep them cool and keep them optimal. But it's quite an intimidating environment. It looks very sterile. Below us are cabling ducts so that you can reach all of these things. And inside a case like this, Michelle, are the actual hardware that people place, the servers and storage space.
Absolutely. So if you have a look here, some interesting stats that we've worked out is the amount of investment that people have done in terms of putting their hardware in Terrico is sitting in over R1 billion at the moment, and increasing on a day-to-day basis. Because essentially we need to make sure that this environment is not only cooled but very secure.
The environment is highly controlled in terms of temperature and humidity, both to ensure the performance and operational integrity of the systems. Floors are raised with cabling ducts running underneath to feed power to the units. Facilities generally include power supplies, backup power, chillers, cabling, fire and water detection systems, along with security controls.
In spite of being on a grid close to the airport and having less likelihood of going offline, one of the backups for Terrico is this enormous diesel generator, which, Michelle, you say is good enough to power a ship.
Absolutely. So the generator you'll see here is 2.2 MVA in terms of power. We also, from the actual facility itself, we've got 6 MVA available. So if you see this here, it's times by another 4.
So obviously having the facilities makes it easier for these international companies, and they can have what the industry calls a local cache.
A local cache, local content. So the key thing, and I mean, Africa has actually not had content for many, many years. And that's purely because of the undersea cables actually being so limited. Now that we've got the CCOM, the WACS, the EASY, who are all in the data center, it's very easy for content providers to start coming into the country. So like your Akamai's, which is your Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., the Googles of the world can then now co-locate in a facility like this where they can connect to multiple players and actually start distributing that content to those various players.
So there you have it. This is the cloud, a large, noisy, air-conditioned room filled with thousands of racks of computers. In case of fire, this inert gas will be dumped out and turn anything off. But this is what the computing world of today looks like. It is these kind of strange, monolithic, gray or black cases housing computers. But the power of what it does and how important it is in our life cannot be underestimated.